Well, it's been more than a week since the gas pumps had to have stickers on them saying that the state legislature has delayed a 2-cent a gallon gas tax. And some people might see that and think, oh, hey, gas prices are lower. But really, the gas tax, which is the second highest in the country and the highest in the Midwest here in Illinois, hasn't changed at all, despite this sticker being posted there. But I wanted to find out some of the latest in as far as just how much enforcement there's been a little over a week into this now, and what some of the gas stations are hearing from customers, and just the overall process of litigation against this state-mandated sticker. So I reached out to Josh Sharp from the Illinois Fuel and Retail Association on Friday. And he laid out there some of the latest, and in particular, what he's hearing from members about the gas pump sticker. So here's Josh Sharp, the CEO of the Illinois Fuel and Retail Association, the group that represents gas stations and convenience stores all across the state.
I've heard from most of our members, and they are, everyone I've spoken with has said that they're complying with the law. They've posted some kind of sticker in accordance with the state mandate. And as far as, compliance checks goes, I've heard from a couple members that Weights and Measures, so the Department of Agriculture, has been through to check. And so far, there's been no objection to any of the signs that they have posted.
So I actually reached out to the Department of Agriculture to ask about this, and they said that, yeah, they have Weights and Measures out checking, but all of the questions are going to be going to the Illinois Department of Revenue, which is the one that's ultimately going to be enforcing this. So are they actually enforcing this to a degree? Has anyone been fined? Here is Josh Sharp talking about, yeah, people are out enforcing this, but no fines that he's aware of at this time.
Well, luckily, I think most of my members have done a really good job to comply with the law. So I don't believe anyone's been, that I know of, has been cited yet for a fine. But they are out there checking, which leads me to believe that if they did find someone without it on the pump, that they would find them. But so far, I'm not aware of any.
And it would be a $500 fine if somebody is found to not be in compliance with the state mandate for that sticker to be posted. So when I reached out to the Illinois Department of Revenue, they did ultimately say that those found in violation are given a notice of violation by the Department of Agriculture and passed along to the Department of Revenue. Through an interagency agreement, the Department of Agriculture Bureau of Weights and Measurements inspectors look to the notices as part of their regular inspections. Some stickers are placed, others aren't. They said that they have found a few pumps where there haven't been stickers placed. But one of the things here with this fine is they fully anticipate eventually if there are gas stations not in compliance, there's going to be a fine. Again, here's Josh Sharp.
Exactly right. That's what we've said. Well, I mean, I would think that if there's actual people out checking, that the state, has their, some bureaucrats out there looking at the signs, that if they find a pump without one, that they're likely going to get fined. I hope that doesn't happen, but the fact that the state is, taken upon themselves to go out and actually enforce this ridiculous requirement, I think that they'll likely get fined.
So what happens though if some of these stickers that I've seen, at least, it's just a piece of computer paper, with the mandated language on it cut out to the right size and then stuck to the pump with Scotch tape. I've seen that here locally. What happens in that case? What happens in the case of, a strong storm coming through and that piece of paper with Scotch tape gets ripped off? Or what happens if a vandal comes and vandalizes the pump? Is the gas station going to be responsible for that? Josh Sharp?
Well, we would hope that, our members would take every necessary step to make sure that these at least try to stay, affixed to the pumps. There's no guarantee that they will, just for the reasons you mentioned. People vandalize things. They take things off the pump. The wind could blow them off. You could have a strong storm. Who knows? But they're making every effort, to make sure they stay on the pumps.
So I did ask about that particular issue to the Department of Revenue, and a spokesperson said that the law dictates that failure to post the sign is a petty offense, punishable by a fine. The goal is not to issue fines, but rather encourage compliance and to also ensure that consumers are informed about the tax relief to ensure that they are paying no more than they should. And they are taking this by a case-by-case basis. So interesting to hear some of the ongoing issues concerning that. But stickers can be ripped off by vandals. They can be ripped off by the wind. And ultimately, you've got consumers now seeing these stickers and also modifications to the stickers with added language, including the language saying that lawmakers have more than doubled the gas tax since 2019. And that this delay does nothing to the gas tax. People are paying the same gas tax that they were paying in Illinois on July 30th that they were on on June 30th as they were July 1st. So there's been no change there. So customers, they're seeing this and they're talking to the retailers, and Sharp share some of those thoughts.
I've heard a lot of that, and I think the customers are. Like I said in my comments before the mandate went into effect on July 1, that I think a lot of people were expecting a decrease. They were expecting something to happen on July 1 that would ultimately lower that sign at the pump, make that price lower. That never happened, as we know, because there was no cut. This was simply delaying a tax increase. So I think that now that they realize that the only thing Illinois has done is delay, a tax increase to 2023, and now there's going to be 2 tax increases next year. I think a lot of people are mad about that.
Now, what about the lawsuit that Sharp's organization, the Illinois Fuel and Retail Association, has against this state mandate? They filed that weeks ago. It was moved from state court to federal court. The federal court dismissed the case with some complex reasoning. Not necessarily going to go into that now, but Sharp said the federal court essentially remanded the case back to state court.
The judge in this case did not dismiss our state claims. She only entered her ruling in respect to the federal the federal side of the case. So it's an interesting ruling. She declined to rule on the state claims. And different states, all 50 states, are entitled to give speech a higher protection than the First Amendment, if they so choose. So our case has actually been remanded back to Illinois State Court, and we are considering pursuing the case back in Sangamon County.
So we will be watching that closely and keep you updated on the status of that particular case here in Sangamon County. But you're seeing those pump stickers, and are you feeling the relief? Interesting stuff here when it comes to state-mandated speech for gas stations and how they're complying with it. But they're going above and beyond with their extra added message and an interesting flex of the First